Welcome back and let's have a chat because it's time to get down on all the games on offer this week through the Desura service. Most of our games this week involve running, ducking, dodging, and returning fire, so as someone with a particularly itchy E-trigger finger, I'm happy to be your host, so let's check out the games with the most on this week's episode of Desura's weekly release highlights. A storm is brewing and aliens stewing in Planets Under Attack, a fast-paced strategy game on the Desura service this week from Topware Interactive. Aliens, robots, and humans are at it again, and this time their age-old beef has set the entire universe ablaze. Luckily, the lack of oxygen has simplified the fire elimination process, leaving more space for shooting and destruction. Send out hordes of units to conquer each globe as you strive to prove that your people deserve to rule the galaxy using the only philosophical means with any real credibility: violence. Planets Under Attack can be purchased this week for the Windows platform for $9.99. A beardless dwarf seeks to cancel out his shame by engaging in a quest for facial hair in Bravada. Along for the ride is a winged rodent friend and a horde of damage-soaking minions, all dedicated to the restoration of our hero's follically failing face. Lighthearted humor and turn-based combat put the final drapery on this viewport of a charming Sunday afternoon game. But this dwarf isn't going anywhere unless you get behind the keyboard, so get to the key clacking and purchase Bravada this week on Windows, Linux, and Mac operating systems for $9.99. I know what you're thinking when you see the name of this game, but stay on board for a minute because it's not going where you think. Furry 2 Ultimate is the platforming follow-up and refinement of a previous game in which a puffball packing a pistol works his way through a labyrinth of levels, each poised to end him. Jump, blast, and smash your way through bosses, water levels, and laser gates while mastering your precision footwork in Furry 2 Ultimate. Available now for the Windows operating system for $4.99. Something about wizarding seems to make old folks infinitely more cantankerous, and in Eador, Masters of the Broken World, that normally miasmatic grumpiness is finally solidified into a magical melee. Take control of one of many mages, each with special abilities and gods to please, and set out to conquer a series of shards using only your wits and thousands of raving magical lunatics willing to die for your cause. If a grand strategy sounds good to you, you can pick up Eador, Masters of the Broken World this week through Desura for $19.99 on the Windows operating system. Eador, Masters of the Broken World requires Steam to access. When the straight-laced can't place in the arms race, it's time for an unorthodox crew to jump in on the fight. Join the team and guide your group of mercenaries to victory in Antisquad, a turn-based strategy game released by Bulky Picks this week. With each team member representing unique strategic opportunities and packing a plethora of perks and upgrades, Antisquad is a lightweight game which comes in hot. If you can stand the burden or looking to turn the tide in a losing battle, enlist in Antisquad today for $3.99 on the Windows operating system. Antisquad requires a Steam account in order to play. Straight from the tactical mind of developer Obi Vermai, War of the Game explodes onto the Desura service this week, giving gamers tactical goodies galore. Take control of tanks, infantry, aircraft, and even tactical nuclear weapons in your war for a global win. Featuring loads of modes to get you started across a number of modern conflict zones, fight your way across the globe while accumulating the cash required to keep the war machine greasier than fingers at Popeyes. War never changes, but you can influence its outcome for $4.99 on the Windows operating system this week on the Desura service. You're gonna need to pound the ground hard to catch up to T.E.C. 3001 because it had a solid running start. T.E.C. 3001 is a robot running reflex game which pits the player's perception and dexterity against obstacles, time trials, and challenges in a bid for marathon supremacy. Whereas I typically get nervous when I see a robot sprinting for any reason whatsoever, if the prospect of fleet-footed robotic fun is appealing to you, grab the game this week on the Windows operating system for $3.99. T.E.C. 3001 requires a Steam account in order to play. We're sitting on empty, and in a futile bid to cancel out the slowly growing feeling of numbness and overwhelming misery growing in my bowels, it's time to disengage. If you enjoyed this week's episode of Desura's weekly release highlights, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay in the know about everything and anything in gaming through the Desura service. Need more? Check out our website listed below in the description for all the browser-bending info you could possibly want. We will see you in next week's episode of Desura's weekly release highlights, and until then, take care out there, everybody.